I just bought this mystery lot of fast food toys at auction, and I have no idea what's inside. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. What on earth? But one thing that we can know for sure is that there is going to be a ton of nostalgia in here. So stick around and see what you remember. So when I bought this box, this was the only picture that was there and had the title Tub of Vintage McDonald's Toys, Most Sealed. Not a lot to go off of, though. I mean, it looks big, right? Well, wrong. It turned out to be very average. And am I regretting my decision? Maybe, but it is filled to the brim, and I did get a good deal on it, so we'll see what we got. I just needed to replenish my fast food toy bins that I am now using to sell as mystery boxes on Etsy, so check out Nostalgic Nerd's Attic on Etsy. But really, I am very familiar with buying lots like this. I also previously bought 100 pounds of fast food toys, which was a little absurd and consumed my entire apartment for a week. And obviously, I'm a fast food toy fiend, having shown off dozens of sets over the years on shorts, so whatever is in here, it's in good hands. And like the listing said, we've got tons of old toys in here, and obviously we're hoping for some good stuff, and hopefully some complete sets. I did do a quick count up of how many toys we actually got, which ended up to be around 80, and I paid $20 for everything. So really, this lot wasn't too big of a risk, and definitely shout out any toys you remember in the comments. So let's get right into it. I wanted to start off with some heavy hitters here with some Shrek toys, specifically McDonald's toys for Shrek the Third. It looks like we have Shrek, Gingy, and a couple of the baby ogres. And I actually have fixed up one of these Shreks in a short in the past. The toy itself just cycles through some different dialogue. And it looks like the others do too, but before we try them out, I actually want to point out the insert inside here that shows off the other toys. They actually have question marks in place of the babies, as to not spoil that aspect of the movie, which I feel like we can appreciate in a time where leaks just spoil everything. But let's see what Gingy says. To be honest, I cannot decipher that. Someone who's more familiar with Shrek, let me know. Then we'll do the baby. Okay, nothing on this one, but we have two, so let's see. Okay, just cycles through some baby sounds, some burping, and goo goo gagas. And now moving on to some SpongeBob toys from Burger King, which I've come across these in the past because there are 20 different toys in this line, and they are all for SpongeBob Lost in Time in 2005, which was a special where SpongeBob and the gang head back to medieval times. Though looks like this set took some creative liberties for this special in particular, with dressing SpongeBob as if he were in a bunch of different eras. Now I know that SpongeBob has appeared as some of these in the past, but I'm not sure all of them have appeared, especially for that one episode. But let me know if I'm wrong. Right here we have Pharaoh SpongeBob. Keep this one in the package, but this is Polar Explorer SpongeBob, Night SpongeBob, and Andy's SpongeBob. And the insert also shows off some SpongeBob games, as well as gives you a timeless fact depending on which figure you get. Like this insert is for Andy's SpongeBob and says the Andes, which runs for more than 4,900 miles, is the longest mountain range in the world. Nice. Then here are some Pirates of the Caribbean toys from McDonald's. Why we pronounce it that way for only the movies, I do not know. And while these aren't labeled for a specific movie, they did release in 2006, which lines up with Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest. And I've actually looked at some other Pirates toys in a members only video a while back, and I've actually made a short on this one in particular, because it's a treasure chest, but I actually didn't have the key to open it, so I had to finagle it open to see what was inside. Which, spoiler alert, were some temporary tattoos. Then we also have this skeleton plush, which there was also a Jack Sparrow plush. Then we have this pirate adventure journal, which is actually pretty nice looking for a fast food toy. It's just a blank journal. And these also have this mystery insert that teaches you some pirate slang and has a piece of a treasure map. This one says, "Avast there, be ye friend or foe," which means, hold it, are you good or bad? Though what this treasure map actually does, I guess we'll never know. Next, I wanted to show off this Haunted Mansion toy for the movie. It's from McDonald's in 2003. And I'm really excited for this one because this is actually the toy that I wanted, but I never got. Why I wanted it, I have no idea. But it's Madame Leota and her crystal ball. Now, this is my first time actually ever seeing this toy, so apologies if my hype is unwarranted. But you can see her face is kind of inverted on the inside, but then when you turn on the light, which this one actually still works, it kind of gives off this 3D effect. Now in this lot, there are also a few old McDonald's bags, which I think can be just as iconic as the toys themselves, though these ones, We have this one, which isn't actually a Happy Meal bag, but just a standard McDonald's bag from 2002. But what I thought was interesting about it is that it has the modern logo on one side, and then some of the original branding on the other side, including Speedy, who was the first McDonald's mascot. And if you want to know more about the history of McDonald's mascots, Ronald McDonald mainly, then check out this video. And then here are some McDonald's bags from 2005 for the Power Rangers and Witch promotion, which this Power Rangers collection featured a bunch of different Power Rangers from different series. And then I also loved back in the day when the bottom of the bag would tell you the next Happy Meal collab. And actually, before I show you the next one, we did end up with one of the Witch toys from this promotion, which is a keychain of Elion, and each one came with a little comic focused on the character too. And then we have some Happy Meal boxes. Definitely a fan of the box over the bag. And these ones are from 2006 and feature Polyworld, which is from the world of Polly Pocket, as well as little Hummer cars too. And check out the Ronald on these ones, kind of looking like the Ronald from the new Lost in McDonald Land series that they have on their YouTube. And I'm thinking of doing a video comparing that to the old Ronald series, so let me know if you'd be into that. And then we do also have some of the Hummers from this line. So these next ones are a little different. These are Energizer figures that are also lights. We have Timon from 2003, and there was also a Pumbaa and a Simba. And then we actually have the whole set for the Incredibles with Mr. Incredible, Dash, and Syndrome. Now these say they are disposable lights, so I don't think you can actually change the batteries in them. And I do have Syndrome out of the package, and he is just not lighting up. And next up is a great nostalgia figure. My family still quotes the commercial to this day.
Have you heard about Betty? Betty Spaghetti?
Yes, Betty Spaghetti. These figures are from 2003, and there were 4 total, also featured alongside some Tonka vehicles. And these figures of Miss Spaghetti are pretty similar to the regular versions, being all bendy and twisty. I would say the biggest difference is that the hair is string versus it being this rubbery plastic to emulate spaghetti. And I'm actually really impressed with these ones. And keeping it going with some nostalgic dolls, here are some Barbies known as the 12 Dancing Princesses, which is based on a Barbie movie. The ones I have here are actually all the same. This is Princess Isla in kind of a ballerina pose. Does some little ballerina kicks, which I do feel like I can appreciate there being an action on this Barbie, because usually it's just the doll itself. And why not continue with some dolls with this Madame Alexander doll? My wife is obsessed with these ones. And McDonald's has come out with a good amount of these sets over the years. This one in particular is from 2003 and is known as the It's Raining doll. She's got this little rain jacket and this duck rain hat. Pretty cute. And this line was released for Halloween with them all being in different costumes, though I hardly call a rain jacket a costume. And then rounding out this little doll section is this Groovy Girl. Do you remember these? Groovy Girls were everywhere starting around the late 90s and were these plush dolls focused on fashion. And my God, did they make a lot of them through the years, including this one from Burger King in 2006. Her name is Britta. Okay, these next ones I had no idea existed. Freaking Shark Boy and Lava Girl. These were released in 2006 at McDonald's. And check out Shark Boy, he can pump up his chest. And then Lava Girl is supposed to be able to light up, and I will insert a clip if I can make that work. But man, what a fever dream of a movie this was, and I am definitely glad I have my hands on these. Okay, let me know if you had one of the regular ones of these growing up. An Izzy, Izzy, I don't know. They were kind of these alien creature speakers that could make music and also manipulate music being played into it. And in 2006, there was a line at McDonald's. Let's check this guy out. There he is. The real question is, does it still work? Doesn't look like it, but again, I will insert a clip if I can get it to work. Now this next one I wanted to take a closer look at because I actually had this one growing up. Took from Brother Bear, released at McDonald's in 2003. And he's really just like a bobblehead, but looking back on the whole line itself, it's like way too good than what it should be. Like there were some transforming ones, a top, and I actually think I had this one too of Coda on the geyser. And then also in here were a bunch of loose Rugrats toys and one Wild Thornberry toy. And these three are all from Burger King in 1998, specifically for the Rugrats movie. This one with Chucky is kind of a water toy. The other Reptar wagon you can pull back and it zooms across. It also looks like the eyes are supposed to light up, but I don't see any way to get in there to fix it, unfortunately. And then here's Spike, who was doing some sniffing. And this Angelica doll actually isn't a fast food toy, but just a Rugrats collectible you could buy, though she is missing her dress here. And then this Wild Thornberries one is a Burger King toy from 2000. Another singular toy I wanted to look at separately, because similarly to the Power Ranger set that I mentioned earlier, this Finding Nemo toy was included in a Pixar set known as Pixar Pals. And I just find it interesting because I'm more familiar with the Finding Nemo line that came out in 2003, where all of those were water toys and would light up. This one, on the other hand, is just a figure. Okay, these next ones take me way back. These are both Owl, who is dressed as Tigger to promote the Tigger movie. My God, I feel like a child right now. These released in 2000, and the Tigger movie was just my shit. Such a classic. Okay, so now we are going to go into more of a lightning round to cover more of the single toys that were in here. So voiceover Colton, take it away.
Thanks, Colton. So with these next toys, not only were there not really a lot of them, but some of the properties are just so random that they deserve to all be grouped together. Like this generic alligator or crocodile from an Animal Planet line at Wendy's. We have this toy for the show Dragon Booster, which I'm surprised I have never seen. And these released alongside this strawberry shortcake figure right here, which is missing its skateboard, unfortunately. Here are a couple of TMNT toys for the movie that came out in 2007, a troll doll for the animated series Trolls from 2006, a teeny beanie from 2004 for the Happy Meals 25th anniversary, and those are actually styled and named after different McDonald's items or characters. And right here we have Fries the bear. Then here is a Dougal plush for the movie Dougal, which has a whopping 9% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, if you are interested in watching that one. Here is a My Little Pony from 2007. Love the inclusion of something more than just the pony. And here's a Cat in the Hat toy for the live action movie that came out in 2003. I actually really like this one, and there were also a lot of toys in this line. Here are a couple of cars, which this is like the worst version of a Transformer, a car that can't transform. Here's an animal dangler from Arby's, a Taco Bell Chihuahua toy from sometime in the 2000s. You know I'm keeping this one. A Happy Feet toy. I really like this one. And then a toy from the movie Open Season. Man, what a throwback. And finally, this plush of Gordon from the Nickelodeon show Cat Scratch. Back to you, Colton.
Thanks, Colton. And moving on with a couple toys from The Wild, which was like Disney's stab at making their own Madagascar, but I would say most of us don't remember that movie. But we have the squirrel Benny, who is winding up to fight here, as well as Cloak the chameleon, which really just has this bendy tail back here. Then here are a bunch for the movie Cars, personally one of my favorite Pixar movies. And we have 5 Maters and 1 Fillmore, which is the VW bus. All right, coming down to the last few here, and this next one is pretty iconic in its own way. Just kind of shocked McDonald's had a toy line of it though. Robo-Raptors by Wowie Robotics. Do you remember Robo-Raptor? It came out in 2004 in a time when we were being pushed various robotic animal toys to essentially replace our pets. And this company also made the popular Robo-Sapien robot, which all I remember of that is that it could dance. But these ones I have here are known as Roaring Robo-Raptor. He has a button back here that makes his mouth move, and then he is also able to make an audible roar. Okay, this next one I'm kind of obsessed with. Hold on. Oh yeah. This is from a line of toys called Spy Gear, and I don't know about you, but I was obsessed with all the spy stuff when we were younger. I feel like back then it was either, are you gonna be a spy or a magician? But as you can see, we have these spy glasses. It's got this little target overlay, and then you can turn on this red light to, I guess, aim, though it doesn't really do that. So what are these accomplishing? I don't know. And also, fun fact, this brand of toys is owned by Wild Planet, which also gave us the original Aqua Pets. And then lastly, we have some of my favorites, and actually one of the first complete sets I featured on my page, the Halloween Silly Slammers from Burger King in 1999. Now, Silly Slammers were a popular toy in the 90s. You would hit them against the ground or wall, and they would have this mechanism inside that would shout a phrase. And to capitalize on their popularity, Burger King released these Halloween versions. Here we've got Witch Hazel and Batty, those similar to the ones I featured all that time ago. These don't work anymore, but if you are interested in seeing the others in this line, be sure to check out that short. And so that is what a fast food toy lot looks like when you buy it from a random auction website with little to no information. And I would say this was a pretty good one. No complete sets, but I feel like you kind of have to seek those out. I do find it interesting that we ended up with a bunch of multiples, which kind of makes me curious on why exactly that is. And really, I'd be so curious to know the history behind this box, period. But unfortunately, we'll probably never know and just have to be happy with what memories it brought us today. Now, as I said earlier, many of these toys are going to be put into those bins for mystery boxes. So if you're into reliving a little bit of childhood nostalgia, definitely head on over to Etsy and grab one. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh yeah.